Good morning, good morning. This is Voices and Choices. My name is Dot, and as our regular listeners know, Voices and Choices is a weekly pro-choice public affairs program, and we bring news and perspectives on gender, race, sexuality, arts, culture, health, and social justice. We believe in the importance of public awareness and conversation about these issues, and we foster a forum for discussion. We intend to raise voices and perspectives that are otherwise not heard, share information, and encourage action that will generate change. Voices and Choices has aired weekly for over 40 years on WRUW. We are here on the campus of Case Western Reserve University, and we have Case Western Reserve University alum Christina. Say good morning, please.
Good morning, Dot.
Oh, that sounds pretty good. I'm going to turn you down, in fact. Good. Good set of lungs on you, my dear. Okay. City of Cleveland has a very comprehensive Department of Public Health, and so many different programs under that umbrella of public health. And I'll name out a couple of them, but there's health equity and social justice. There's a lead programming, including screening and testing. There's infectious disease falls under that, and reproductive health and immunizations, and I think it goes as far as anything like even an infestation of mosquitoes or something in your water source or your air source, which brings us to our guest, who is in the Department of Air Quality, and her name is Christina. Good morning, Christina.
Good morning.
Yay, so glad to have you. It was very fortuitous. Yes, very fortuitous. We were glad to have you. So, in your Department of Air Quality, tell us a little bit about that department.
Sure thing. So yes, we are a division of the Department of Public Health, and the Cleveland Division of Air Quality is responsible for air quality control and enforcement throughout Cuyahoga County. So that means that we are contracted with Ohio EPA to be the boots on the ground representatives for anything related to air quality. So we do that through a couple different things. We operate a monitoring network throughout Cuyahoga County. So if you ever see those air quality alerts that come up on your phone, that comes from data from the monitors that our staff operates. We respond to citizen air quality complaints. So if you have a air quality concern in Cuyahoga, you can call our hotline. And that phone number is construction sites, open burning, and just give us a call and we'll come out and investigate. And then we also, we write and issue air permits. So facilities, so these are stationary sources, and think anything from a gas station to a dry cleaner to industry to steel mills. We're responsible for regulating those guys. And so we write the permits for them, and a permit is kind of like a contract of what they're allowed to do.
Oh my gosh, I was just going to ask you, because this is the city of Cleveland, but you are contracted for all of Cuyahoga County.
Yes, that's correct.
That's good. And that makes sense, because the city of Cleveland's a big square footage, but where does it begin and end? It's good that you cover the whole county with these kind of concerns and programming. That's great. So under the Division of Air Quality, it's not just air pollution, as you said. There's so many facets to it. And who knew that an open fire, someone's burning in their backyard, right? That is definitely going to impact, and they might even be throwing things, not even wood, but goodness knows, rubber or plastic that is really environmentally dangerous. Not just to our lungs, but to animals' lungs and our land, our surface, right?
Absolutely. And we get a lot of open burning complaints where people are burning garbage. We've had complaints about facilities that instead of properly disposing of waste, they're burning the waste from facilities. So it is a problem, and especially think about how close, Cleveland specifically is, how close houses are.
Yes.
So when you're burning in your backyard, that's impacting your neighbor. And if they have respiratory conditions or cardiovascular conditions, that can really affect them.
Can't even imagine. Now, let's get specifically into you are doing air monitoring and outreach, right? Help me.
So my role, I am the Chief of Outreach. So my responsibility is anything that relates to air quality and community engagement. And so that includes some aspects of monitoring, it includes public engagement, it includes outreach. But one of the big initiatives that I'm working on with several of my colleagues, as well as actually some of my partners at Case Western, is a project called Clean and CLE. So this is the Community Leveraged Expanded Air Network in Cleveland project. And what we are doing with Clean and CLE is expanding Cleveland's air monitoring network so that we can start getting neighborhood-level air quality data. So this project was launched a few years ago, and we've been installing low-cost sensors in different neighborhoods throughout the city of Cleveland. And the location of the sensors was based off of resident feedback. So we went out and we asked residents, where do you think that there's air quality concerns in the city? And they gave us some locations. So we installed the sensors, and now anyone can access that data in near real time on an online dashboard where you can see at the local level what air quality is in the city of Cleveland. So that was a really fun part of the project, but we're moving into the next phase. And that was a great way for us to collect like the quantitative data and actually collect measurements in the community. But we also want to hear directly from residents about their perspectives on air quality and their experiences. So what we're doing is a series of residential air quality interviews where we will meet a resident at their home, and we will have a driver, and we'll just go out and drive through your neighborhood, and you will point out the things to us that are of concern, whether it's vehicle idling, whether it's dust, whatever the case is, weird odors that are happening in your community. Because what we want to get is both, there's the hard data, and then there's the lived experiences, and be able to capture that whole picture.
Oh, I appreciate that. The hard data versus lived experiences. That's very important.
Yeah.
Awesome.
And we're hoping through the lived experiences, this really helps us understand what residents are concerned about, but then also how can we identify solutions for those concerns. And I think about this in two ways. There's short-term interventions that we can do. So this would be do we need to send our enforcement staff to a specific location that we've never been to? Mm-hmm. Or in one interview that we did, a resident was concerned about vehicle idling. And so now we're working with the source. There was an apartment building next to them, and we're working with the building management on implementing a vehicle idling, making residents aware of the issue. So that's the short term. But then longer term, we are a public health agency. So how can we improve the programs and services that we offer to the community based off of this information? And that's everything from our day-to-day activities to bigger things like legislation. What laws or ordinances do we need to help us address these problems?
Mm-hmm. So because everyone is being told to call 311. So do you get those kind of calls also via 311?
Yes, we do. If you call 311, the call will get to us.
Okay.
Absolutely.
But there is a direct line to you gave the phone number, and I want to hear that a couple times for your air quality reports, a hotline or whatever.
Yeah. So call and leave a voicemail there. That phone number is 216-664-7442. And what is really great and really helps us a lot is if you can call us when the problem is happening. So if there's an odor that's happening right now, call us then, and we will do our best to get somebody out right then and there so that we can observe it ourselves. It helps us with our investigation process.
Oh, so you have a team who is able to immediately look and hear and smell and see whatever it is that is being reported.
Exactly.
Excellent. Oh, excellent. And your follow-up then with the complainant and your reporting system is in place and effective?
Yeah. So they call it in. You'll have an inspector that's going to call you back, try to get a little bit more information. To the best of our ability, we try to get out right then and there. Mm-hmm. And then they'll look into it. They'll see what they can find. Sometimes they don't find anything. Sometimes they do. It just really depends. And then they'll call the resident back and just let them know what we found. They'll let them know about any of our next steps that we need to take, and they'll just keep the resident just looped in along the way.
Oh, that's wonderful. So your outreach, does it include education programs?
Yes, it does. Yes,
Okay.
it does.
All right. In the schools, in the community, how is that happening?
Yeah, so like we do work with some of the schools, and we have a couple different ways where we can go in and just do something that's like a short one-off presentation. So for example, we get invited a lot to like environmental sciences classes when they're doing like a air quality 101.
Oh, yeah.
But then we also have longer term things. So we have sensors, air sensors that we can loan out to a school, where if they wanted to do like a student engagement project where students are developing an air quality data collection project, we'll work with them on how to install the sensor, how to interpret the data, and how to come up with a research question. And so they can do that. There's a stationary sensor that can be installed, and then we also have mobile sensors so that we can go out and like walk around a neighborhood and collect air quality data as we walk through the neighborhood.
I would like to suggest that you collect air quality data at 3 o'clock in front of schools with the car line of parents and caregivers who don't turn off their engines 20, 30 minutes before a pickup and wait in that line with their engine running. That neighborhood's got to be struggling.
Yeah, and that is a really common concern, and I'm glad you bring that up because one of our other initiatives that we're working on is a citywide anti-idling initiative, and so it is. I'm not sure how many people are aware of this, but it is illegal to idle your car in the city of Cleveland. And you're right, schools are really an area of concern.
Yeah, they're right in the middle of a neighborhood of houses, and there's a playground there, and
Yeah.
it's a concern, very legitimate. Wow.
It is. And so like we're actually over the course of the next several months, we are implementing an anti-idling campaign throughout the city of Cleveland to make residents, locations aware of these issues. So we have signage available. We can work with the schools on coming up with a plan.
Oh.
There's ways to get students involved in that too. Students can actually do observations themselves, and that could be a part of their science class. And then implement a campaign, and then they can look at after the campaign has been implemented, how many vehicles are still idling. So it is certainly a concern and something that we're trying to work on.
Oh, that is a great hands-on project for the kids. So, I mean, because when the parents hear it from the kids, Mom, Dad, Grandma, Abuela, please, no, don't run the engine. Stop the car in the line. It means more coming from their children than from another adult. That's awesome. Yeah, I like that idea a lot. Great. So
did you know?
Go ahead.
So just for 1 minute of vehicle idling produces the same amount of carbon monoxide as smoking 3 packs of cigarettes.
Ugh.
Yeah, so it's bad. People think it's innocuous and that it's not harmful, but it really is a bad thing to do.
Yes, it is. And in an urban area like Cleveland, close homes, close neighborhoods, busy streets, it's just not good. That's excellent. Now, going back to the outreach, when someone does call and wants to validate their concern about whether it's a smell or a landfill or a safety issue in their neighborhood, you take the report and then you make an appointment and you come to their home. And
yeah, we will. So
okay.
The resident doesn't necessarily have to be. So I just want to clarify 2 things. There's the complaint response, and the complaint response we go right out and we investigate. And sometimes the resident does not need to be home for that. We will go and just check out the neighborhood and see what we can find. So there's that. And then the other thing we're doing are those resident interviews. And so that's a little bit more in depth. So that, we ask the residents we need probably about 45 minutes of time.
Okay.
And we'll make an appointment that's convenient for them. So if it's evening, weekend, business day, whatever works best, we'll meet them. They'll tell us where to go. They'll direct the interview. They'll just share their experiences. We've had people bring up specific air quality concerns, specific facilities, and then we've also had residents talk about resources that they want. Like, for example, one resident was talking about how she really would like to be able to access air purifiers for her home, but they're costly, they're expensive. So just hearing these types of things about what do residents need, it helps us with the type of work that we're trying to do.
Okay, that's really valuable. And then how are the next steps? on that? Like you're going to work on a plan. You're going to address the source of that complaint. Elaborate on that a little bit. This is the
Yeah.
one-on-one when a resident wants to participate in the outreach program.
Right, right. So what we're doing right now, we're going to do a total of 19 of these interviews. And we're collecting the information, and then we're going through the interview transcript, and we're reading it. We're looking for themes, whether the theme is a specific problem or a specific solution. So we're looking and collecting all of this information from the residents. We'll be putting that together in terms of like a comprehensive report. That information will be shared back out to the community that this is what we found. These are concerns, these are solutions, these are the common themes that we saw. And then that'll also include whatever our next steps are. And so like I can't say at that point what our next steps are going to be because it's going to be informed by what we hear from residents. But we'll then take that report, it'll be all available to the public, and then we will also see what types of modifications we need to make internally to our programs and services based off of that community feedback.
Okay. All right. That's good. That's good. So it's a very comprehensive, the Department of Public Health, but certainly the air quality has a very comprehensive. And tell people a phone number, a website, different links that would be helpful.
Yeah. So I'm going to give the contact information for the staff member who's coordinating the interviews. Her name is Priya, and you can reach her at 216-420-7683. So that phone number again is 216-420-7683. And you can email her at G as in Grover, O as in Oliver, D as in Victor, E as in Edward, N as in Nancy, D as in David, E as in Edward, and R as in Rabbit. So that's P. Govinder at clevelandohio.gov. So if you reach out to her directly, she'll go ahead and coordinate an interview time. This is now, I mentioned at the top of the show that we do represent all of Cuyahoga County.
Mm-hmm.
For this specific thing that we're doing, the resident interviews, that is specifically for residents in the city of Cleveland.
Okay.
Okay. Or if you work in the city of Cleveland, that's also something that, if you're interested in the program, we'd be open to as well.
Okay. Are you at different events? Do you have a table at, for example, the safety fairs or at the senior walks that the city sponsors? You have a presence at these city events?
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, we get out and table as often as we can. On average, we do about 90 events a year. So if anyone who's listening, they have any type of health fair, community resource event, or anything like that that's coming up, we would love to hear from them, and if we're able to participate, we will.
I will be putting the link and contact information on the various Voices and Choices and WRUW websites. And when I email the link to everyone to enjoy the archive, I will also include this information, Christina. Really important to know. And this isn't a new effort. I mean, your department has been around for 8-10 years, if I'm not mistaken, maybe longer.
Oh, we are one of the longest standing air pollution control agencies in the country.
Oh,
so
my.
We've had different forms over the years, but we've been around since the 1890s.
What? Oh my
Yeah.
goodness.
Isn't that amazing? We've been around since the 1890s. Now, me specifically, I've worked for the department, for the division, about 8 years now, and I was brought in specifically for things like this. Because so many people don't know we exist, I was brought in to be that kind of community liaison to make sure people are aware that we're here and, we want to help.
But, well, let's talk about it. But you're a scientist by study, right?
I'm sorry, I didn't quite hear you.
You're a scientist?
Yeah, so my background, I have an undergraduate degree in environmental sciences, and then I also have a master's in zoology and a master's in public health. So I'm not a researcher per se, but I am involved in a lot of research activities. Yeah.
It's wonderful.
My master's in public health is from Case Western Reserve University.
Yay, good.
Yay!
That's great.
Yeah.
That's awesome. Well, next time you'll come down to the studio and talk and see
Absolutely. I would
the
love to.
wonderful WREW studios in the basement of the Mather Memorial Building. So remind people that your air quality report hotline is 216-664-7442. And it's really helpful if they make the call when they see it, when they smell it. And you can be you can be very proactive then and get a vehicle out there to run a test, to do a study. So that's really good to know. And if you are interested in if you live in the city of Cleveland and you'd like to participate for an hour one day and have an appointed time and meet with Christina and one of her team members at your home at the location of a concern, if there's a smell or a dangerous situation that you'd like the city to know about that you feel impacts your life, this is how you can do it. And that hotline number will get you to BREA, right? To that. It'll just give the information, all your information, and someone will call you back if they don't answer, right?
Yes, absolutely.
216-664-7442. The City of Cleveland, which is comprehensive and covers Cuyahoga County, outreach for air quality control, which is all about quality of life, people. And City of Cleveland Division of Air Quality is doing a great job, and they're working to find and control the air pollution that's in our neighborhoods. That's wonderful. It's a great thing. Okay, we got a phone call. So I'm going to take a music break here, Christina. Hold on.
Okay.